All right, I think I'm live. I'm not exactly sure. I am trying to set this up a different way. And so, I don't know. Hopefully, it is working. Let me see if I can pull up. Okay, it does look like I'm live. So, hello, everybody. If you are joining me live today, it is Monday, then please say hi in the chat. Let me know where you're tuning in from. I'm in a suburb of Memphis. It's a rainy day here today. And I'm Cindy Baker, productivity coach, ADHD coach, help people with overwhelm, procrastination, distraction, all those kind of things. So today, what we're talking about is the ADHD advantage. Now, don't tune me out if you don't have ADHD. That is fine. Um, it still will be helpful for you to understand a little bit about um, the way people like me, the way our brains work, because I have ADHD, and kind of rethink how we work and create what we want. So, welcome, everybody. I'm glad you're here, whether you're officially diagnosed with ADHD, whether you just think you have it, or you don't think you have ADHD, but you just know your brain doesn't work the way the productivity books say that it should, then this session is for you. Because today we're talking about something powerful, the ADHD advantage, how to rethink how we work and create what we want. So let me make sure I am. Yep, looks like I'm trying to stream live a different way. I just want to make sure this is working. So here's the truth. Probably nobody told us growing up, told you growing up, because I know they didn't me. ADHD, I didn't hear much about it at all when I was growing up. But it is not just a list of deficits, you know? I hate that term deficit disorder. I mean, but it's so negative, right? It's just a different operating system. And when you learn to work with your brain instead of fighting against it, you stop fighting yourself and you start building momentum. So if you've ever felt like you're always behind, no matter how hard you try, you can't seem to stick with routines that should work, you have big ideas, but you got trouble following through. Well, today we're going to flip the script. We're going to talk about how your ADHD brain can actually be one of your biggest assets, your greatest asset sometimes, if you rethink how you work. And I'm all about helping people work smarter, not harder. That's one of my things. And so, um, just to circle back around from the beginning, I am trying to stream a little differently. I hope you're still tuning in with me. So if you are watching this live, would you say hi in the chat? Let me know where you're tuning in from. And let me know if you have ADHD or you just think you have it or you don't have it, but you get distracted easily. Just one of those three options. I'm curious to see who's listening. And if you're watching the replay, same thing. Just put hashtag replay and then let me know. I am going to check the comments on my phone here. Make sure, because I can't read them on this screen very easily. But, the real ADHD struggle is not laziness. It's friction. It's emotional friction. Um, let's just get that straight from the beginning. ADHD is not about a lack of willpower. It's not laziness. So, you telling somebody just try harder is not going to work because it's not that they're not willing to try. It's not being careless or unmotivated. It's friction in your emotions, in your brain, between how you're wired and how the world expects you to operate. There's friction. If traditional productivity advice works for you, great. But if it doesn't, that does not mean that you're broken. It means the system wasn't built for your brain. Now, I've seen this guy on Facebook. He's got Facebook ads all over the place, and he's trying to act like he's an ADHD expert. I don't know whether he is or not, but I highly doubt it. And he says, don't follow the productivity gurus. Well, I'm a productivity coach. I think that he's wrong in saying don't follow them. I think that the key is you have to follow the ones that are ADHD friendly, which is me. So productivity is something that you can attain, and it's something that you need to learn, but you got to learn to work with your brain. So you're probably somebody who can like hyper focus for hours on something interesting, but maybe you can't seem to start the simple tasks like emailing somebody or cleaning your desk. Why is that? Well, it's not a character flaw. It's an activation problem. And that's where the ADHD advantage comes in, because once you understand what drives your brain to engage and what shuts it down, you can work with your natural rhythms. And we do have natural rhythms. You can work with those instead of fighting against them. So, and again, if you're watching, please say hi in the chat. I'm getting zero people on the chat. So let me ask you this. What if your lack of focus wasn't the problem? What if it wasn't about lack of focus, but it's the system that you're trying to fit? Maybe that's the problem. And you've got ADHD superpowers, or even if you don't have ADHD and you just have a busy brain, your brain probably has superpowers. So you've probably heard plenty about the challenges of ADHD, but I do want to talk about those hidden superpowers and how to use them to your advantage. One is we have interest-driven attention. Interest-driven attention. ADHD brains are not disordered. They're interest-based. So you don't have a focus problem, you have a boredom problem. That's right. It's not about focus. It's about you're not interested. And so reframe that. Stop trying to force yourself to care. If you don't care about it and you're bored with it, just admit that and start asking, how can I make this task more engaging or meaningful to me? Yeah, I've seen a meme on social media with this little green figure. I don't know, it's like a little Muppet or something, and it says how to make a 30-minute activity out of what's supposed to be a 10-minute recipe or something like that. And then the person's like dancing around and da 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 da, and just getting all distracted and doing a little dance, and then he would go over here and do something else. And it's because we can't stand to just do things a normal way, right? We have to make it more engaging and more meaningful, and that keeps our interest. And that's okay. In fact, that's kind of fun. It's kind of funny sometimes. So you can pair a boring admin task with music that you love and dance around if you want to, or turn it into a race against the clock. Tie it to a real world outcome that you care about. Like, if I do this faster, I get paid faster. Or if I do this faster, I can free up time for creative work. Tie it to something that you do care about. So again, one of the superpowers is that you have interest-driven attention, and that is not a bad thing. It's something that you can do something with and use it to your advantage. You're probably creative if you have ADHD. Maybe you don't see yourself that way, but you have divergent thinking. So you probably connect dots that others miss, and you generate ideas. Like I always have ideas, all these ideas. Now the follow through is something that I help people with, because that seems to be a struggle. But if you have a creative brain, you see possibilities everywhere. But creativity without boundaries can become chaos. You have to have boundaries. So here's the shift. This is where you need to reframe it. Don't stop the ideas, but just capture them and organize them later. So one thing that works great that I've used and some of my clients have used is to keep an idea parking lot. Um, it's like a place where you park things. It's a space for future projects so that your current focus doesn't get hijacked. You can use voice memos, sticky notes, apps, a notepad, but when those ideas come, write them down, but don't feel like you got to hold them in your brain. And that can actually be used as a superpower because those ideas are incredible sometimes, but you don't have time to act on it in the moment. So put it in a parking lot and then go back later and organize them. All right, another superpower is urgency activated execution. Urgency activated execution. So you may not be consistent, but you're excellent under pressure. And that's not a flaw. That's how your brain generates dopamine. You know, I hear a lot of people say, I work better under pressure. You don't necessarily work better under pressure, but you're used to doing things that way. And it doesn't have to be a flaw. So reframe that. Don't try to be, disciplined. Just set up external pressure that creates urgency. If you know that you're always going to wait till the last minute or you do things right up until a deadline, then create that sense of urgency. For example, make a public deadline for accountability. Like tell everybody this course is going to be launched on this date. And then you have to do it by that date because you already told everybody. Or have people over to your house and then you've got to clean up before they come over because you've already told them they're coming, right? You can have an accountability buddy. You can use a timer. Like the Pomodoro technique is great because it instills that sense of urgency because you see that clock ticking and you know that you've only got a certain amount of time before the buzzer goes off. Co-working sessions work great if you have ADHD or somebody else is also working quietly with you and then you take a break together. When you stop trying to be somebody else and just lean into how you're naturally activate, then everything shifts, So know those things. This is one of the things that I have a group coaching program, if you didn't know that. And it's new and improved. I'm actually doing kind of a beta test right now with founding member prices. So it's an awesome time to jump in. But in my coaching, one of the things that we do is I help people if they do have ADHD. Not everybody does. I help them understand it. And so we go through what it means to have a neurodivergent brain. And so you have to figure out the ADHD-friendly way to work and way to create things. So, here's the truth. You don't need more discipline. You don't need more discipline. I know. I probably just totally contradicted every other coach you've heard, but you just need a system that fits how your brain works. You have to rethink productivity in a way that's ADHD friendly. And that's one of the great things about my coaching. I'm going to brag on myself for a minute, but I have ADHD. And so everything that I teach is something that has already been proven. Things that work with my brain, things that work with my clients, or sometimes there are things that I've read work with ADHD brains, and then I'll let you know that. I'll say, hey, I haven't tried this, but blah, blah, blah. But the point is, I don't give you things that I just read in a book somewhere. These are proven strategies, and they work because they're ADHD friendly. So even if you don't have ADHD, what you'll find is it really does. These small little changes make a big, big difference. And I want you to remember that motivation follows momentum. It's not the other way around. You don't have to wait until you feel motivated. Stop waiting to feel ready. You're not going to feel ready. Maybe you will, but probably not. So do the tiniest possible action to start, just the tiniest thing where you're assured of success. Just one click, one sentence, 1 minute. ADHD brains get going by going, if that makes sense. It's like once you start, it's like rolling a stone down a mountain. It just picks up speed as it goes. Well, that's the way your brain is, but you got to just get it going. So get that momentum going, and then you'll start to feel motivated. The feelings come later. So use that to your advantage. Use the fact that that motivation follows momentum. And another thing I want you to remember is that structure is freedom. And I work with a lot of people that have ADHD, and a lot of them don't like the word structure. They think it feels restrictive. But it doesn't mean rigid routines. I love habits and routines and structure, but I don't, it's not rigid. It means containers that hold your attention. And again, you're in control. So there's freedom there, right? You could try like theme days. Like if you have a business, you could have Marketing Monday. That's the day you do all you batch all your marketing or whatever. You could have 90-minute sprints. It's a method that I teach in my coaching program. Visual checklists, timers we've mentioned. Don't track your time minute by minute. Track your energy, track your focus, track your engagement. That's way more important. All right, how are we doing? Do we have anybody commenting? Come on, people. I don't know where. I don't know. It looks like I'm live, but I don't see any people. So I don't know. Where are you, people? So if you end up watching this replay, let me know so I won't feel so lonely, because I'm feeling kind of lonely right now. All right, now another thing you could do is kind of a little trick is build in novelty and rewards. Because your brain needs dopamine to engage. So give yourself tiny hits on purpose. Celebrate every step. Have a little party. Each little step. Yay, I did this. Yay, I did that. Change locations if you're stuck. Sometimes that helps. Switch tasks when you hit a wall. Just track where you left off, right? That's not cheating. It's smart brain design. It's not multitasking now. That's not helpful. But if you just get really bored, you hit a wall, you're not getting anything done, just stop. Mark where you left off, and then switch and do something else for 15 minutes, and then come back to it. And you'll find, hey, I can do this now. But create what you want instead of just managing, what you think you should do. You don't have to do it like everybody else, and that's okay. All right, let's bring it home. ADHD isn't just about managing symptoms. That is a big, important part, but it is not just about managing symptoms. It's about creating systems that support your strengths. One of the huge differences in my coaching program is that we focus on strengths. It's strength-based coaching. I have a little phrase we use called 3P power: positive, prepared, productive. That positive is huge. So would you stop forcing yourself to follow somebody else's playbook? Then you can write your own playbook. So here's your permission slip to stop chasing perfect routines that don't fit your life. You don't have to be perfect. Prioritize work that lights you up. Set goals based on your values, not somebody else's expectations. What would you create if you trusted your brain more? Think about that. What would you stop doing if you believed that you didn't need to earn your worth by constantly being busy? What would you stop doing? You already have the raw material for success. You just need to shape your work around your strengths, not your struggles. So you're not broken. You're just wired differently. And different doesn't mean less. It means unmatched potential. When you learn to work with your brain, start with just one shift, one small action, one system that actually works for you, one habit that's based on your reality, not the productivity police. And if you want some help with this is what I do all day, every day. If this resonates with you and you're ready to take the next step, I'd love to invite you to continue this work inside my coaching program. It's called Focus to Fortunes, and it's where we turn insight into real life momentum. So, speaking of momentum, this Thursday is our workshop, Momentum Made Simple. It is going to be awesome. Brand new workshop. It's all about helping you get unstuck. And this is not a thing where you just sit and watch and me talking like I'm doing now. This is hands-on, small group where I individually help you with something that you're trying to get done. And I help you identify what the next step is, lay out a plan, so you walk away with an individualized plan. So stop trying to fix what's not broken. Start building a business and a life that fits you instead. I would love to help you either in the workshop or in my coaching program. So reach out, just put in the comments, put in the comments workshop if you're interested in the workshop, which is this Thursday morning, June 12th, for 3 hours, 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. Central, with breaks in there. Get a workbook, that whole thing. Or comment coaching if you want me to send you my calendar link and we can chat. There's no pressure. I only ask that you show up if you book a call, because I am busy. But thanks for being here. Go ahead and just create what you want with the way that your brain works. I look forward to seeing some of you in the workshop Thursday. I hope you have a great rest of your day. And again, if you're watching the replay, please say hi and let me know. And remember, you're awesome. Talk to you later. Bye.